Hey guys, Milo here. Been getting a lot of inquiries on ChartSmart on Facebook about doing a YouTube video channel to explain the charts in words instead of typing a post like I've been doing for the last 2 years. So I figured I would delve into it. I started a YouTube channel. I'll leave the links below. I'll alert you guys on any videos, any future videos I make, and I'll give you an easy link to check it out on YouTube. So let's get started. If you've been following along Chart Smart, you know this cycle chart. To me, this cycle chart is the most important macro overview you can get of the Bitcoin price. It's split into what I call two phases. Phase number one, or cycle number one, referenced by this vertical red line. Anything to the left of the red line, I would consider cycle number one. Anything to the right, I consider cycle number two. Each cycle in bull bear markets tend to have the same characteristics. Those characteristics are a correction phase, stabilization phase, and the new bull run phase. And interesting, if we compare this one cycle, cycle number one, to cycle number two, and you take the tops of the Bitcoin price right here in April of 2021 to the bottom, we saw a 54% decline. If we take the same cycle, the second cycle, from the top to the bottom, we're at about a 53% decline. Very similar. I find that very interesting, but we'll get back to that. So if we reference the first phase, we see the corrective phase started at the top. Bitcoin dumped 54%, wicked people out, got people scared as shit. They moved out of Bitcoin, and that's just when the institutions start salivating. When the institutions start supporting, when the whales start buying, it brings us into the stabilization phase, and that's just what happened. So the stabilization phase begins right after we break a trend line in a corrective phase. So right about here is when the stabilization phase has started. As you can see from this phase, we formed a symmetrical triangle, or a descending triangle, from the Bitcoin price. Remember, trend lines need 3 touch points to be valid. Here we have multiple touch points. We've had one fake out here. Bitcoin price wicked down, but went on to form this triangle before finally breaking out. Interesting, these wicks, look how many wicks. We wicked down right here at 29,000, which was the low. That was the first major wick. This one candle was a 31% daily candle loss. No doubt getting people out of Dodge, scared shit. Bitcoin went on to consolidate trade sideways. Interesting. Look at these wicks down. If we form a trend line for the closing, the trading lows, look at that. Each time Bitcoin wick down, got support every single time, big time support. This is a major support zone. Down here, wick down to previous lows, a little bit lower, closed above. Same thing here. This last time, which I call the final flush, Bitcoin closed below the previous closes, and for sure was the final flush. And we know when fear is rampant and people are really scared, they retail, mostly retail, gets scared, gets out, and that's when the institutions move in. That's just what they did. So out of this triangle, Bitcoin broke out on July 21st, 23rd of 2021, and went on into its new bull run. From at or near the breakout, it gained, sorry, approximately 100%. So from the breakout up to the all-time highs at 69,000, that was 100% gain. Interesting. So Bitcoin went on to form a double top. Double tops in technical analysis are bearish patterns if and when the patterns break down. In this case, this pattern broke down, the first warning sign, when Bitcoin formed this M pattern, one to the second top, to this trend line right here. This was the first warning sign that we were in trouble. And a trader who's adept in TA knows double tops are not bearish until they break down. This was the first breakdown sign. If we move forward to a chart I prepared, this is the same line we just went over. So that's the M pattern, breakdown, warning flag. Bitcoin went on to form this massive head and shoulders. Now, head and shoulders patterns, their neckline forms at the armpits of each shoulder low. There are two trend lines here. The first trend line is at the closing lows there. The second trend line is at the wick lows. You could use either one. They're both bearish patterns upon breakout. So number one problem here, broke down from the neckline. Number two, warning flag. Number three, broke down to the wick armpits of the neckline going down. Taking us to today. So we have here, same as last cycle, corrective phase, moving out of the corrective phase into the stabilization phase, forming a symmetrical triangle, pretty much identical to cycle number one, breaking out of the symmetrical triangle, just got rejected at the 200-day moving average, which is this guy here, 200-day, and we just saw a major rejection below support at 45.5. Interesting, however, we are testing this symmetrical triangle upper line as we speak. So you could say that we are at a support zone. Multiple support zones lie below. What are they? Number one, where we are right now. Number two, if that fails, we have this lower support symmetrical triangle. This is heavy support. I would like to see this doesn't hold, this hold. So any bounce upon any one of these trend lines would be a retest, and a positive retest, bounce off the support and flies up, back up to this 45,500. A break above 45.5 and a break above the 200-day moving average, which is going to move forward as time goes, would be bullish signs. Warning shots, here we go. So I drew this trend line, a very important trend line right here. Let's make it another color, pink, same thing, no problem. So from this wick at 28,000, this was your low point, to pretty much this wick, brings us to this important trend line. Notice that these guys have wicked down, and we've gotten support. Very important. So we have 1, 2, 3 heavy support going on that needs to pay attention. Obviously, without being said, 29,000, which is long-term support. That is the ultimate line in the sand that Bitcoin has to respect. And if it doesn't, we are going down lower, and it's not what we'd like to see. If you like these videos, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to this new channel. I appreciate everyone's support, and I'll do some updates as we move along. Thanks for watching.